Eastern BBC News.
Let's cross live now and speak to Daniel Sahej, who's Director of Human Rights Organisation Stand for All. Daniel, thanks for appearing on the programme. I appreciate your time. First of all, your reaction to this latest twist in the saga surrounding the Bibby Stockholm.
I think it's an entirely predictable outcome to this. The barge has already been warned from NHS, Public Health England, for example, that there were significant disease risks of using this barge to place people. So I think it was almost inevitable that we would see something, maybe not this quickly, but it really shows how the government has forced this through far too fast. They've tried to make it a PR stunt for this week, and it's ended up backfiring on them and potentially putting lives at risk.
So what would you suggest is a good alternative that saves taxpayers' money? Because that is ultimately what the government is trying to do here.
Well, earlier this week, the Minister of Immigration effectively admitted that this government has almost deliberately allowed the backlog to increase, as, to quote him, because processing applications faster would be a pull factor. Now, it's obviously not a pull factor, as we're seeing people still crossing despite delays. So what they need to be doing is processing those applications faster, which is a lot cheaper in the long run than providing accommodation for the people.
Sure, but there is this backlog. There are many thousands of migrants who are in this country right now. What would you do with them if you don't put them on a barge? Where would they go? Hotels are expensive.
You still need to invest in. We've previously had local community support schemes, which worked with higher numbers of asylum seekers, providing support within communities, providing accommodation with the community. We could bring those back. They've been definanced effectively. They're a lot cheaper and more effective, and they're a lot more humane. So we could bring those back, which is a great way actually to build up communities as well. It invests in communities during a cost of living crisis. So it's a win-win for everybody.
What do you think the next move will be now? Because these 39 people, they're off the barge. They have to come back on the barge. There has been a lot of dissent, hasn't there, amongst local people about this barge and the way it's been run. What do you think the government needs to do next in terms of these specific people, these people?
In terms of these specific people, they need to, first of all, be making very sure that they've got proper health checks and are monitored carefully for any medical symptoms that come through. They've been placed in this position for a few days now, so there is a serious risk to them as far as I'm aware. What they also need to do is make sure they are supported, placed in proper accommodation at last, and get the support and protection they need. They can't be just put back onto this barge, and this group in particular can't be put back onto the barge, because imagine the fear and terror that they're going to face having just been through this and having their lives potentially put at risk.
And, you know, ultimately it's a hugely political issue, isn't it, in terms of what to do about asylum seekers in this country. Do you think that the answer lies particularly in what the Labour Party is saying they would do?
I think both the Labour and the Conservatives are focusing far too much on exclusion. I mean, the UK ranks about 18th per head of population compared to the EU 27 for the number of asylum seekers we take. Now, if we've seen higher numbers as well previously. These are not by any means the highest numbers that we've seen of asylum seekers. If we focus on, as I said before, processing those applications faster, we know, for example, that the 5 main nationalities who cross the Channel have an acceptance rate above 90% for their asylum claims: Afghans, Syrians, Yemens. So if we look at it from that point of view, rather than look at how many we can exclude, we process it through faster, because it actually takes more time to exclude people as well, which then reduces costs and the burden on the taxpayer for accommodation.
OK, Daniel Sahej, it's been really good to talk to you, and I thank you for coming on and answering our questions this evening.
Thank you for having me.